Greetings, Ben Marie here with another edition of SaaS Metrics School. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. So today addressing a student question. The question was, we were talking about LTV, and LTV can get very complex, and LTV to CAC even more complex. There are 6 inputs that go into that formula. So it's a ubiquitous metric thrown around like confetti or candy, but it is pretty, I don't know, say sophisticated with the number of inputs. So when we're looking at lifetime value, what churn metric should I use in the denominator? So first, the components of lifetime value. So first, we're looking at cohort ARPA. We need to know at a point in time, what is the average ACV, ARPA, MRR, ARR, however you want to term that. What's that average value on a monthly or annual basis that I'm receiving from my latest newly won customers? Because it's a point in time metric. We're not going to use the ASP ARPA of our entire customer base for LTV, common mistake. But that recent cohort ARPA, so that's input number one. And then we're going to gross margin adjust it. So what do I mean by gross margin adjusting? That means we're taking a revenue number times a gross profit percentage. In this case, say if we're offering subscriptions, we have cohort ARPA or ACV times our subscription gross profit percentage, not our overall gross profit. In case we offer services revenue and onboarding, we're going to have services margins, and that's going to be tied up into our overall gross profit, but our subscription gross profit. So important to segregate your margins by revenue stream. So in the numerator, we have cohort ARPA times our subscription gross profit percentage, and that means it's gross margin adjusted. And now we're dividing by that very sensitive number in the denominator, our churn number. So what churn do we use for that? I like to use 1 minus GRR. So 1 minus our gross revenue retention rate. So 1 minus that equals our dollar churn. So I input that into the denominator to calculate my lifetime value for my customers. Now, I have seen posts out there that use customer retention. Now, I like to use customer churn. I like to use it on a dollar basis because in the numerator, we're using dollars. So I want to keep that consistent. So it's just 1 minus GRR. Now, this is where metrics can get very subjective. Gross profit, I like to use my trailing 3 months as a proxy for my current gross profit percentage profile. And then retention, this gets a little bit tricky too, or churn. And again, this is where you can really skew metrics if you use the wrong periods of measurement. So a churn, are we using the trailing 3 months annualized, trailing 6 months, trailing 12 months? That just depends on my ACV, on my self-service, mid-market, enterprise. How volatile is my retention? Because really with LTV, we're trying to figure out at a point in time, what's the estimated cash flows that I'm going to receive from that customer over their lifetime with us? Of course, it's an estimate, but it's based on our current financial profile, our current retention profile. So I'm using 1 minus GRR, and I'm going to look at maybe a T3M, T6M annualized, and whatever represents a good proxy for my current churn/retention profile. Finally, what if we have a SaaS Plus model and we have subscriptions plus variable revenue streams? Then we have to adjust the LTV formula for variable revenue streams, variable gross profit, and then also a churn number that's a good proxy for that variable revenue stream. So a good question that came up in my SaaS Metrics course today. And one thing, would love some more ratings, reviews. And if you do, I'll shout you out in the next podcast and also feature a company in my newsletter to 70,000 plus subscribers. So I'd love more ratings or reviews if you find value in these SaaS Metrics lessons. So a quick review of what churn metric we should use in the LTV calculation, the components of LTV, and of course, if we're in a SaaS Plus model, we have to adjust the LTV formula. So that's it for today. Thanks.